Yeah, not so much. The more you think about it, I suppose it makes it worse. But in saying that, there were definitely positives to come out of the game. Yeah, obviously the boys are still hurting for the loss, but yeah, we're starting to move on and look forward to next week.
Is it one you can't afford to kind of put the strike through and just rule it out altogether and go on to the next week? How much do you have to actually learn from that last quarter?
Yeah, absolutely not. I don't think you can do that with any losses. And yes, for that last quarter, you can learn so much. Just in terms of obviously fitness, that was one small part of it, we think, and in terms of just our game plan as well, sticking to it. I think we're put in that situation. We haven't been in it too often, and I think everyone just carried that load, that responsibility, and wanted to sort of win the game off their own back, which is honourable in theory, but obviously out there it doesn't help your team aspect to it.
You mentioned fitness in there. How long do you think it would take to actually get to the stage where you couldn't really use the fitness as an excuse anymore? How long is it going to take for the team to kind of get to that point where they should be playing out the whole game?
Yeah, we realise it's not an excuse, and we've displayed in the past that we can run out of whole games, but obviously footy's a week-to-week proposition, as we all know, so unfortunately that week, it came down to that to some aspect. But again, like I said, it was the boys, how we responded to that final quarter, and so we've definitely learned a lot from it, and hopefully can put it into practice next week.
We've heard you coaches take on the fitness, or I guess looking back, were you not fit enough, or were you not working hard enough previously?
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a couple of things, Fish. I think there was definitely, as I think Rocket's touched on before, we are missing a few of our key running players. But also the fact of just getting back to playing your role and trusting in the team structures, which we do. But obviously coming under that heat, which the Bulldogs brought, we thought we'd take on that extra responsibility and try and win it off your own back, sort of thing.
Are you mentally tough enough to run out? Or we know physically, we've heard about that, but mentally to keep running 4 quarters out when it gets tough?
I think so, yeah. We've obviously displayed that 2 weeks ago against North. Mental resilience is something you continue to grow throughout your whole career, so there's no doubt we're still working on that and still getting better in that area.
How's your body going this season? You played 11 games in a row, you haven't done that previously. Do you take a lot of confidence that you can get through such an extended patch of footy? Yeah,
definitely, mate. As you touched on, I haven't strung this many games together in my career, so personally it's good and it does give you a lot of confidence, and that continuity, backing up training sessions and games helps also give you that confidence in the durability in your body, so it's been good.
You become one of the leading tackling ruckmen in the game, close to sort of a goals clean in a month. How much of a focus is that for you heading into games now?
Yeah, I better watch that one. I think last time we touched on that, I got 0 tackles the next week, but it is definitely my number one focus going into games. I try and build my game off it each week, and it's my key priority going into games. And unfortunately, I won't be able to play against the likes of Mumford this week, who's leading the way, or he was leading the way there. But it'll be something I'll definitely continue to focus on.
Unfortunately, you won't be playing.
Yeah, I know I say that 2 times, but no, you look forward to playing against the best in your position. It's the only way you get better. But in saying that, they've got Downey and Lobb who've stepped up in his shoes, and I played against Tom Downey a couple of times in the NEFL, and we always have good battles against him, so should be good.
What about the Giants, Tommy? Like last time when you played them early in the season, probably arguably your most disappointing performance of the season. Do you take anything from that? Do you learn anything from that?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, last time we played them, they were really good. They had great runners, which they've always had, and we from every loss you learn a massive lesson. And for us, it was about that mental resilience and holding on for the 4 quarters, which we tried to implement the following 4 to 5 weeks after that. And Rocket said he was proud of those efforts. Obviously, we had a lot of personnel out, and we came up against the top 4 sides of last year in Freo, Sydney, Hawthorn, and the top 3 anyway. And he was pleased with their effort. So that's something that we've set a benchmark for and just continue to work on each week.
In the last couple of weeks, we've seen how with Gary and Dave back in the side, not what they can do from a football perspective, but what's it like on the ground having those 2 back from direction and sort of structurally setting up? Yeah,
it's huge, Josh. You've got Gaz, who's obviously knowledge of the game's paramount. I don't think people can quite understand how good he actually is, just with his awareness and his ability to know what to do in almost any circumstance in the game. So that definitely helps you out. You get that knowledge from him, and then Dave's just that calming influence. And I know for myself personally, you go out to a centre bounce and you look to your left, you've got one of the greatest players in Gaz, and then you've got Dave Swallow, who's you know he's going to go in 100 miles an hour, and then you've got Riscatelli or Hallahan as well, who are just a couple of balls. It's been massive for us, definitely, in the midfield and throughout the whole team. I think it just really boosts their spirits.
Does it sting you guys at all that there's a perception that the Giants have just gone straight past you, or is that just something we're sort of fascinated with from the outside?
I think it's a bit of a both fish. Yeah, it definitely stings you. You've got a lot of pride playing footy, and we've obviously the two new clubs coming through the Giants, and they're a massive rival of ours. But internally, we've got our own expectations, and we know that footy's such a you fluctuate a lot throughout the year, every year, season to season. So we know we've obviously had a massive down compared to last year, but we know that there's bright skies ahead.
Tom, do you feel like there's been a bit of wasted time? Like you're 5 years into the footy club's development and you're not fit enough, not individually but collectively, and you know you get a short span to achieve something as a football side, and does it frustrate you that time could have been wasted?
Yeah, you can see how you can see it from that point of view, Hamo, but I think it's not wasted unless you don't learn anything. And from my perspective, I've certainly learnt so much over the past 5 years, and as you know, you don't learn anything until you experience it. So you could say we're experiencing a lack of fitness, but that's only a small part of it. So yeah, and we're learning how to deal with it. We've been doing extra running throughout the week to deal with that and help combat that. So I think as long as we've learnt from it, then yeah, it hasn't been a waste.
Is there any update on when Harley might be back?
Not at this stage, no. He's just continuing to respond well to all his training and make sure he's in the right mental space.
Rocket said a number of times during the real injury crisis that a number of young players, inexperienced players like yourself who've played under 30 games, really grown. Can you look back now that having Gary and Dave and Malchesky back, how much have you grown from that period personally and as a group?
Yeah, massively. Those younger boys you spoke of, Jesse and Took, and those guys they've grown massively. They've been put in scenarios where they've had to deal with a lot of the load, and then with Gary and Dave and a lot more of the experienced players coming back, I think they've been able to share that load a lot more. So again, like I said, those boys have learnt from those games where they've had to play and rely on themselves, whereas now they've got the help of Gaz and all the others.